woman and an infant were found dead inside a home.
Let's get right to News 10's Kathleen Surrey live at the scene on Lavender Lane. Kathleen, what's going on there right now?
Gordon and Tara, there actually isn't too much visible activity right now. A car did just pull up and it may be the coroner. We are not sure at this point, but there isn't too much visible activity going on outside. Inside, there is still a very active investigation as police try to determine exactly how this woman and this infant died tonight. Police tell me that someone walked into the home tonight and found an unresponsive woman, and that's when she called 911. That call came in around 6:40 tonight. When police arrived, they found a 36-year-old female and a female infant, both unresponsive. Justice of the Peace Bill Cook pronounced them dead at 7:18 and 7:19. It's unknown at this time what exactly caused their deaths.
I was devastated. I was surprised and devastated. You know, you hate to see something like that happen to anybody. You never think it's going to come, this close to home, so to speak.
Now we have detectives on scene from the homicide unit. They're gathering information. They're taking statements from anyone who has any information as far as, what went on here.
Autopsies have been ordered for both the woman and the infant. Their names aren't being released at this time. The infant's age is also not being released. Now, I'd also just like to clarify something very important. The relationship between the woman and the infant is unknown at this time. Now, this scene is still very active inside, and this investigation is still very early on. We will be sure to bring you any information as it becomes available, both on air and online at KWTX.com. Reporting live from Killeen, Kathleen Surrey, KWTX News 10.
Okay, thanks, Kathleen. Very disturbing story there. Well, a former McLennan County probation officer is accused of sexually exploiting two women he was supervising. Michael E. Gutierrez was fired in November after they complained.
They said Gutierrez was asking them for sexual favors.
24 hours later, we're no closer to knowing how they died. News 10's Kathleen Surrey has been following the story from the very beginning and is live now from that home in Killeen. So, Kathleen, are police releasing any new details?
Julian, Gordon, as you said earlier, unfortunately, they are not releasing much new information for us today. But I did check in with them earlier this afternoon, and they say that the names of both the woman and the infant found dead in the home last night aren't being released because they're still in the process of notifying family members. Now, I want you to take a look at what the scene looked like last night. Police say that someone walked into the home and found an unresponsive woman. That person called 911 just before 6:40 p.m. last night here at the 2400 block of Lavender Lane. When police arrived, they found a 36-year-old female and a female infant, both unresponsive. Justice of the Peace Bill Cook pronounced them dead at 7:18 and 7:19. As we said earlier, we still don't know the cause of death for either person. We also don't know the relationship between the woman and the baby. The Killeen Police Criminal Investigation Division Homicide Unit is still investigating the case. Autopsies have been ordered for both the woman and the infant. We did reach out to Justice of the Peace Bill Cook's office this afternoon, and while they weren't able to give us any new information, we have already requested the autopsies for both the woman and the infant. So when that information becomes available, we will give it to you as soon as we possibly can. Killeen Police also say that they hope to release more information tomorrow as well, and we will bring that to you as well. Reporting live from Killeen, Kathleen Surrey, KWTX News 10.
Investigating after a security guard was murdered early this morning. He was on the job at a local Subway restaurant. News 10's Kathleen Surrey joins us live from Old FM 440 in Killeen. Kathleen, what have police released to us so far?
Keisha, it happened around 3:40 this morning when Killeen police were called to the Subway restaurant behind me for a robbery call. When they got here, they found a man who had been shot. Now, he was immediately transported to the Baylor Scott and White Hospital in critical condition. He later died from his injuries. Now, take a look. This is what the scene looked like earlier this morning when crews were still on the scene. Police say a suspect wearing a ski mask came into the restaurant this morning. When the security guard on duty approached approached him, there was a verbal altercation. That's when the guard was fatally wounded. The suspect is being described as a stocky male about 5 feet 6 inches tall, wearing a dark gray sweatshirt, black shorts with red and white trim, and white tennis shoes. Police say there were a few customers and employees in the restaurant at the time that this incident happened, but no one else was injured. Killeen's detectives with the Criminal Investigation Division Homicide Unit are investigating the case. They encourage you, if you have any information, to please call Crime Stoppers immediately. We'll bring you any new details as they become available on this case. Reporting live from Killeen, Kathleen Suri, KWTX News 10.
All right, Kathleen.
But for those behind bars, it could be so much more.
News 10's Kathleen Suri shows you artwork from one of the last places you might expect.
Art is freedom.
With each brushstroke
It's like 4 different shades of blue in there.
and each completed piece,
It helps a lot.
Adam Brown and Russell Parrish find their escape. Whether it's a detailed symbol of freedom
Kind of my little support America, support our troops thing.
or a simple title painted above a door.
When I draw and when I paint, it puts me out in the world. You know, it takes me out of this, you know, and I can, you know, fly around or whatever and, you know, go off in my own mind. You know, it sounds strange and funny, but it's a getaway.
But these artists aren't painting in a classroom or a studio. They're behind bars. The Bell County Jail has 2 locations. There are more than 160 inmates here on Central Avenue in Belton and about 630 here on Loop 121. But inmates at both facilities say artwork gives them an escape from these 4 walls without leaving the building. An opportunity given to them by Sergeant Erlene Williams.
This makes them know that they're noticed and that they're talented, that they are people, and that there are good things that they can bring, you know, to others, even while incarcerated.
It all started with simply waxing and polishing the floors, which slowly progressed into bringing some life to these stark white walls.
To put a little color on the walls of someplace that everybody thinks is gray and blah, to breathe a little bit of life into it, I'm grateful.
And with more plans to brighten the walls, their work here is far from over.
I'll be busy for a little while.
A talent that's catching the attention of other inmates. And they call you Picasso, huh?
I guess, yeah. That's one of the names.
But they don't do this for the recognition. They do it to take their minds off of things they can't change.
Things that's happened and how it shouldn't have happened, and you know, all the what ifs and should haves and all that kind of stuff. You start feeling that pent up energy, you know, and you pick up a pencil or a pen in this case and start to doodle.
Artwork in the Bell County Jail isn't just confined to painting the walls. Inmates at both facilities find ways to pass the time creatively, whether it's drawing on envelopes, paper, or
flowers out of tissue.
Other materials. Nilda Rodriguez says even in jail, art can represent so much.
Just pretty much everything that's going on inside, your happiness, your sadness.
And along with creating some much-needed distraction, Rodriguez also uses art as a way to communicate with her daughter.
She's also into artwork, and this is something that I've made her personally.
And even though life behind bars presents its own challenges, art remains the same.
Art is what you make it. You know, what you perceive as art is art.
Even in the most unexpected places. In Bell County, Kathleen Suri, KWTX News 10.
Well, are you?
And they took hundreds of man hours from numerous agencies to look for Jamal, and now we're with this. No Jamal.
An investigation that spanned more than 2 weeks and several states, all for a toddler who doesn't exist. On February 11th, investigators were told 3-year-old Jamal Powell was taken at gunpoint, along with a car and money.
You know, the money, the vehicle, that was the least of our worries. We had a child who was possibly kidnapped.
Last night, they found out they were led on a wild goose chase when residents at the home where the initial report was made confessed that they made the boy up. Why? To get a faster response from police. News 10 tried to reach out to the homeowners this afternoon, but the man who answered the door said he didn't live there and was just a friend passing through.
Okay, so do you know anything about what happened?
What are you talking about? I don't know what's going on with nothing. I don't know why you're here right now. I don't know what's going on with nothing. So.
Get the police out to investigate something that doesn't exist while we have numerous cases where we do have missing children. We have homicides, we have robberies where we're short on staff. We need detectives to really be looking on that.
Even though the toddler's identity was made up, who the boy is in this photo remains a mystery. In Killeen, Kathleen Surrey, KWTX News 10.
The two suspects named